Medieval England, spanning from the 5th to the late 15th century, was a period of significant transformation that laid foundational aspects for modern British society. Initially marked by the collapse of Roman Britain and the subsequent Anglo-Saxon invasions, this era evolved through complex layers of social, political, and economic changes. The early medieval period began with the Anglo-Saxon settlements in the 5th century. These tribes from continental Europe brought with them distinct cultural practices, language, and legal systems that would profoundly influence the development of English identity. The establishment of several petty kingdoms across England during this time introduced a new political landscape that was predominantly tribal and decentralized. By the 9th century, the Viking invasions added another layer of complexity to medieval England. These invasions led to significant cultural exchanges and military conflicts, but also resulted in political consolidation. Alfred the Great, King of Wessex from 871 to 899, was pivotal in defending his kingdom against Viking incursions, and later in uniting several Anglo-Saxon territories under his rule. His decisions to build fortified towns known as burhs and reform legal systems were crucial in stabilizing and strengthening his realm. The Norman conquest of 1066 was another turning point for medieval England. William the Conqueror's victory at the Battle of Hastings led to Norman control of England. The Normans introduced feudalism, a hierarchical system that reshaped English society and governance. Under feudalism, land was exchanged for military service, and society was structured strictly into classes from king down to peasants. This system deeply influenced social relations and laid groundwork for future governance models. The High Middle Ages, 11th to 13th centuries, were characterized by population growth, urbanization, and increased agricultural productivity. This period saw the rise of English common law, which began to unify the legal procedures across the realm. The Magna Carta of 1215, forced upon King John by his barons, was a critical document that limited royal authority and laid down legal standards for protecting individual freedoms, a long-term impact still resonant in modern legal principles. During this era, England also experienced significant religious influence as the Church became a powerful institution that not only dictated spiritual life, but also wielded considerable political power. The construction of grand cathedrals such as those in Canterbury and York reflected both religious fervor and wealth accumulation through tithe collections. Economic changes were also profound during the medieval period. The introduction of wool trade in the 12th century turned England into one of Europe's major economic forces. This trade fostered rural industry and financed much of the monarchy's needs through exports to Flanders and Italy. The Black Death in 1348 to 1350 dramatically altered England's demographic landscape by reducing its population significantly. This had immediate consequences such as labor shortages, which eventually led to social upheavals seen in events like the Peasants' Revolt of 1381. This revolt highlighted growing discontent with feudal obligations and oppressive taxation imposed by nobility. In terms of culture, medieval England was a vibrant tapestry woven from various strands including literature, music, and art, which flourished especially towards the late medieval period. Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales remains a testament to this rich cultural life, which depicted varied aspects of English society from different perspectives. As medieval England transitioned into the Tudor period after Wars of Roses concluded in 1487, with Henry VII's accession to throne, it left behind a legacy that had deeply entrenched feudal structures with emerging Renaissance influences, which would guide future ages towards reformation, both in religious practices and societal structure. In summary, life in medieval England was marked by significant transformations that had enduring impacts on British society. From initial settlements by Anglo-Saxons through periods marked by invasions, plagues, revolts, and finally concluding with emergence toward a more centralized statehood under Tudors, this era set many precedents which have shaped subsequent English history profoundly, without moralizing these developments or their impacts can still be observed consistently throughout existing British societal framework.